Off a piece of paper. Okay, if you think I'm reading this paper, let me say it like this. When your bitch ass starts getting some shit that disrespectful, you need to get your skinny motherfucking ass back out the goddamn way before I put my foot in your ass. Because I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. Shut the fuck up. I'm old. What's up? I will punch your neck, nigga. Don't you ever disrespect me. I did it.
All right, everybody. So I had to make a video about it's not funny. It's extremely serious, but the dude is a whole clown. All right, so let me get back to the subject. So apparently, Kirk Franklin's grown son, he's feeling some type of way about I don't know the way his other kids are getting treated, the way his sibling. I think he feels like his siblings have had a better life than he had. So he's holding resentment against his dad and stuff like that, and even if you didn't have the best father in the world, you don't like do stuff like this to him. Like it sounds like he was intentionally trying to make his father mad and then put him on blast. Because who's gonna tolerate their own child, talking to them any kind of way, especially when you're grown, especially when you're grown, overgrown. Dude is like 33, 32 years old. He's super grown. So why is you even calling your dad trying to argue with him about anything in life? At this point, your dad don't owe you nothing, man. There's people out here, who never see their dads growing up. Who dads is in prison. Dads is dead, or like me, for instance, having a dad, live a few blocks away from me, and then hardly ever see him growing up. Never showing up to a baseball game like ever. It's people who have really, real dad issues, and this dude, he seems like he's spoiled. Seems like he wants to be taken care of by his father, and it's extremely sad. And I know I got the picture of Plies mixed up in there. Yeah, I thought it'd be funny to throw Plies up in there. But yeah, I don't see nothing wrong with what his dad said on the phone call. Like, so just because you're a Christian, that means you can't curse. That means you don't get mad and curse people out. Or even if it is your kid, your kid, your family makes you madder than anybody. Family will hurt you worse than anybody. This is facts. And I got a brother like Kurt's son. Me and him grew up together. He 4 years older than me. We had the same opportunities growing up in life. I say I, we grew up in the same area. He chose to do crimes and go to prison at an early age, and I chose, my common sense over everything, not to do crimes and put myself in those type of positions growing up. He chose to get kicked out of school every year. He intentionally did stuff to get kicked out of school every year. I chose not to do stuff to get like permanently kicked out of school. Like I would get suspended, but I wouldn't get like expelled. He would get like, and he would do stuff that he knew was gonna get him expelled, just because he didn't want to go to school. For whatever reasons. I never talked to him about like why he did all this stuff. But fast forward, he did almost a decade in prison. He comes home. My mom still was taking great care of him, helping him out when she could, because she doesn't make that much money. And he isn't grateful for nothing that she did for him, like at all. The only time you even hear from him is when he wants some money from you. If he's calling, I know he wants some money. He's not calling, checking up on you, seeing how you was doing, or wanting to come visit, or to try to like build some type of relationship with his nieces and nephews. I don't. He has no interest in that type of. He has no interest in like a regular type of life. And as soon as you say no to him, he'll get mad at the world. He'll go to blaming everything on his mom, even though like his dad was locked up too. His dad didn't do anything for him. You can't do too much or nothing for anybody when you're in prison. But even still, like when you pushing 40 years old, you can't be make. There's no more excuses at this point. If somebody did mess you over, growing up or in your younger years, what does that have to do with today? Are you gonna pout about it till you're 50, 60 years old? Are you gonna hold grudges till you die? Or are you gonna stop making excuses and try to build the type of life that you want? Instead of calling his dad and complaining about how his life going, or he probably was calling his dad begging for money. That's what it sounded like. The only time you should be and when you're 30 some years old, the only time you should be contacting your parents is to check up on them or to get them to come spend some time. Hey, do you want to spend some time around your grandkids? What type of conversation can you even be having with your parents at 30 some odd years old that's gonna make them flip out at you like this? I sat up on the phone with my brother and my mom, and my brother was talking about my mom like a dog, like she didn't do nothing for him, about how it was her fault that he went to prison, all types of crazy stuff. Like, no, no, stop it. Quit making excuses. You're a grown man, and at this point, he's been out of prison I want to say over a decade now. So if your life was so bad, growing up that it forced you to go to prison, like, so what does that have to do with the past 10 years? Why aren't you still where you want to be at in life? Like he wants to be a rapper. Like, dude, give it up. I'm not even gonna say give it up, but I know everybody got a dream, but at some point you have to you have to do what's best for you and your children, and sometimes you gotta hang your dream up or put it on pause or do it as a hobby. I don't get it. I'm not for the. I couldn't do this. I'm not gonna. Even though I have even if I did have some type of resentment towards my dad growing up, I'm not for the. I'm not for the go at him about the past and get on him about this, that, and the third. It's wasting energy on both sides, and it's not gonna help out any. It's not gonna do nothing but make the situation worse. So to each his own. I'm 100% on. I'm not the most religious person, and I do believe there's a lot of scam when it comes to religion. But as far as Kurt seeming like from the outside looking in, seeming like a cool dude or a genuine person, it's for the most part, the majority of his kids, they in tune, they love him, they showing affection, they not doing stuff like this. So you could, you can't treat everybody the same. I know everybody say, "Oh, I was like, if you got 5 kids, you can say, oh, I don't have a favorite." You can may not you necessarily don't have a favorite, but you always have a child that you more geared towards or whatnot. But what you don't do as a parent, and what I certainly don't do is you don't when it comes to how you provide for them, you don't give a shorter end of a stick, to the other kids. If one of the kids, is living outside your home and stuff like that, that's not stuff you can control, as far as time that you're spending with them and stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure when it came to finances and stuff like that, that Kurt took care of business, and when it came to advice and raising this kid, he doesn't seem like the type of guy that just like abandoned one of his kids just because he remarried somebody. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Thanks for checking out the clip. Make sure you like and subscribe, and also check out the podcast where I usually do longer versions of these discussions. Thanks and peace out.